Now, I've got to ask you one question about the election. Race is becoming a big issue. The Democrats are determined to make it a big issue. Will it play a part in determining who is the next president of the United States?
I don't know. You know, it's hard for me to. Every time I've tried to make a political prediction, I've always been wrong. So I'm trying to show some restraint and not predict anything. I think that, there are a lot of signs to me that are very positive for Trump right now. And even on the race issue, I think a lot of the polls are showing that the attempts by the Kamala campaign to gin up racial resentment and all of that has kind of backfired, and she seems to be losing support, especially among black men in particular. And that's not a surprise. But she's trying to use not just the racial grievances, but also the gender grievances. This is a whole campaign built on basically left-wing victimology. And she's going to try to ride it all the way into the White House. But there are a lot of, I think, very positive signs right now that the strategy is not working for her as well as she thought. But, we'll see in a few days.
Now, just finally, this is a trend that I've noticed, and I'm sure you've noticed too, that the demand for racism in America seems to outweigh the supply, which might explain the racist hoaxes we have seen, the hate crime hoaxes, from the basic racist graffiti hoaxes to the more complicated Jussie Smollett production that we had. But the media is always so eager to swallow up and blow up any allegation of racism. And I want to just have a look at one case that you featured in your film.
The popular kids amusement park apologized after a video went viral that appeared to show a costume character snubbing two black girls.
Okay, you see the character coming, high-fiving everybody as it goes down the street. Gets to those two little girls. It appears to just flat out say no, and you see the little girls and their faces. And
who is Rosita? Who's in that costume? I think that person needs to be, held accountable, fired and held to account.
Absolutely fired. Well, before you fire them, teach them why they're being fired.
Yeah. And then let them go.
And then let them go.
Oh, you can always rely on the ladies of The View to be completely unhinged about everything. Just last month, the case concluded. Sesame Street won. The $25 million lawsuit has failed. But, Matt, why is there this eagerness in the media amongst the activist class to push any claim of racism, no matter how fanciful? And that Jussie Smollett one, that was so absurd on the face of it, and yet everyone from Kamala Harris down believed it.
Yeah, I think it's because when you've got a lot of racial resentment and racial guilt and suspicion and all of that in society, people are it's much easier to manipulate and control people. It's a tool that people in power, the cultural forces, in our society use to control and manipulate, and that's why they always want to find more reasons to accuse people of racism. They need to convince people either that they are racist or that they're the victims of racism, which is also why they tell you that, and we hear this in the film too, that hey, if you say that you're not racist as a white person, if you claim you're not racist, and that's just all the more evidence that actually you are. So it becomes this unfalsifiable claim, and the people that are turning it into an unfalsifiable claim, their motivation, I think, is pretty clear. They stand to make a lot of money off of it, and there's a lot of power and influence from it for them as well.
Absolutely. You've just done such exceptional work. You expose the excesses of the trans movement with What is a Woman? Am I Racist? The race baiters have been exposed. We need you now to focus on some sort of a climate change movie, Matt, please. We need that in the culture. Is that what you're working on next? Do you have a next project already underway?
I have a couple of ideas that I'm pretty excited about, but I couldn't. It's got to be in the vault. It's a secret for a while now before anyone hears anything about it.
We really appreciate your time tonight, Matt Walsh. You've been very generous. Thank you so much.
Thank you.